What was that?
That was a commercial that was playing earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that was a great rendition of it. I couldn't tell that it even stopped. So far tonight, guys, DRG Lang, another of our possible Royal Roaders is out. That leaves only Scarlet as a possibility for tomorrow. Don't forget, same time, same place tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because of the holiday in Korea, we will not have the weekend cast.
Lunar New Year is coming up. A lot of people celebrating that in the world. More people than celebrate that than any other holiday, actually, globally. So we're going to take some time off for that.
Wait, what about my birthday, though?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's up there. It's not quite Lunar New Year. So we have a broadcast on Thursday. Definitely check that out. Scarlet will be one of our players in that match tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. KST. Anyways, for now, we are going to go into the final match in Group G. It's Byun versus Ryung. That rhymes.
So you're trying to tell me that Lunar New Year's bigger than American Thanksgiving? No one in America's celebrating it tasteless?
Yeah. What is that copy pasta in Twitch chat? It's like, if you're watching some major stream and there's like, let's say there's 70,000.
But there's only 7,000 people.
No. You do the whole thing where it's like, wait a minute. It says that there are 7, and you write down 7, enumerated 70,000 people watch the stream, and then you write in actual letters, but there's only 6 billion people on the earth. How could there be this many people watching the stream at once?
Yeah. That's funny.
Well, a lot of people would not have expected Byun to be at this part of Group G in the final match. He was supposed to win versus Stats. As good as Stats is, Byun won the World Championship, won the last GSL Codes. Dude, he might get knocked out. Ryung has really shown very different play styles. He's very seasoned. We might see an upset. Let's find out if Byun wins this, or if our underdog Ryung takes this on to the round of 16. In the upper right, in the blue,
Team Expert, Byun.
in the upper left, in the red, he is
TES Gaming, Ryung.
Guys, I gotta just say, like, I'm just luckier than all of you watching at home, because Tasteless is so funny. He's my friend. But really, I guess since you're watching GSL, he's your friend too, and you're really lucky for that.
We're kind of friends.
Yeah.
I did something to Artosis that made him laugh.
He always
But he
does.
managed to pull the mic away from his mouth, so he didn't just sound like an insane person. Out of nowhere. Sometimes I just laugh.
Tasteless knows right where I'm ticklish. It's in my armpits.
Oh, Artosis. Well, they're both sharing the top of the map. I don't know if we're going to have any hidden bases in this TVT, but this is one of the matchups where if you're in positions like this, you actually can do that, and sometimes people just don't find it.
Never know. Anything could happen. Byun going for the early tech play here. Getting that factory right away, whereas Ryung wants to take the expansion. So we'll see if this is like maybe a... he got the second gas, right? Yeah, so possibly like a Cyclone and going into Banshee type of thing.
If you're joining us just now, earlier when we had the interviews with the players, Byun was saying he actually feels pretty nervous about this because he had all this success in 2016 right at the end. He won GSL Codes, he won BlizzCon. Now he feels like he's not allowed to lose, which is an interesting situation that's happened to some players when they do become the very best in the world. Is first of all, if you're the very, very best, it's hard to find people to practice with because you seem to be doing better than everybody else.
Yeah.
You're always supposed to be winning, even though that's not a realistic. That's the standard that's been set for everybody. So if you lose to anybody, it's sort of an upset.
It's true. When you're the best in the world, it is an upset when you lose.
Yeah, and
you have a target on your back too.
Yeah, because if anybody takes you out, it's huge. Like Stats beats him, you know every one of Stats' friends, StarCraft and non-StarCraft, are going to be calling and being like, whoa, man, you just beat the world champion.
Really good stuff.
You are a fast track to win this whole thing.
Yeah, it's, once you get on top, staying there is really, really hard.
Whoa!
Okay, so instead of making a Cyclone, actually, he grabs a very fast
this is
Hellion
funny.
here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the thing is, a Cyclone will pop out, and he should be able to clear everything with this. Huh.
Bounces his Hellion up.
See, now this was, I was saying I felt like you would go into Cyclone. I guess that, needed to save some of that money to get this quick command center and starport behind it, but, like, that was not really a lot of damage. The Cyclone is just really good in the early game in TVT.
I think out of almost all the Terran units, it's sort of a solve-all for Harass.
Kind of, yeah. It's anti-air isn't as good as it once was.
It's not a panacea, but I mean, it is pretty damn good at making you feel a lot more safe. And you can actually come out and try to do some Harass with it later on. There's some good rush builds with it, too. But yeah, I'm not sure about that opener there from Beyond.
God, I don't know why I can't think of this word right now. What is it when you, like, water something down like 1,000,000 times and then it becomes medicine? Like, you know what I mean?
No,
that
what?
Fake old type of medicine where, like, you take poison, then you, like, keep dissolving it like 1,000,000 times so there's nothing left, and then it becomes medicine for the poison. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you mean when you micro-dose yourself with poisons over time
no,
so
not
you build
that.
an immunity to it?
No, that's actually something that's real. It's this other old thing. Never mind. It's fine. I'll figure it out later. It would have been really funny if I could think of the word for it. Oh, well. Here we are.
This is the trials and tribulations of doing live
Oh,
casting.
man. It was going to be so funny.
We'll save it for
I
next
could've
year. We'll
salvaged
figure
it
it
if you got
down
it,
and write
if
it
you
down.
know.
It'll come back.
Wait till everyone forgets.
Yeah.
Sometime in StarCraft 4, I'm going to revisit this joke.
Well, so far, Beyond hasn't made much of a dent.
No.
Ryan seems to be doing a little bit more of a...
Well, this is as safe as you can get. He opened it. He grabbed a Cyclone. Now he's going Siege Tanks and Vikings. That's all stuff that stops stuff.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
You poet. So...
Who's the real bully in this relationship? That's the question.
True. It's probably me. Well, he's got these medevacs coming up, but the Vikings already in position. You know, one thing is, ever since we started GSL, Young was always really scary at TVT.
Yeah.
In fact, TVT has carried this guy in his career for a long time.
Yeah, he was definitely like a top 3 TVT player for a huge portion of GSL's history. Like, you know, even though, for instance, his former teammate MMA would like overshadow him a little bit, his TVT was like even better and could keep up with absolutely anyone in the match. The thing is, he's always been good at all the matchups, but if I recall correctly, there were some certain seasons where like a Protoss would take him out or something, and it's like, he's a very good player, but maybe this is a little bit of a crux. Tonight he showed great play against Stats, but here he is so far blocking everything Beyond can throw at him.
We've got both players getting stim. We probably won't see that much movement from either player on the map until stim is done. The stim here for Beyond is a little bit ahead, but it seems like this is timed out so that even if Beyond stim gets finished first, he wouldn't be able to go over there and do damage until the stim is finished for Ryung.
Yeah, and nothing too crazy or out there right now for these players. Just kind of slowing it down. It is Whirlwind, so kind of becomes interesting. They can get quite spread out in this map.
Well, this is also a funny map at TVT because, you know, there's this watchtower out there, but it's not like it helps you that much. It's
Not
always
in
good.
these spots,
It's
yeah.
always good to have control over it, but you can basically just be on the map and get surprised by their army if they're better at scanning and keeping an eye on you, and they can just stim and kill you sometimes. I mean, you have to be very careful. This game is played on a knife's edge.
Right now, Beyond does control that watchtower, which does give. There's like a feeling of safety you can have having watchtower in these positions.
Look at this, empty medevacs.
Areas they are not. Yeah, Ryung looks like he's trying to fake a drop here. Maybe make the army go back up and in.
Scans, comes back. Either that or he really messed up and he meant to load those.
Well, he brought them up to where the depot was so they could be seen and then even scanned. Sometimes when you get scanned in a TVT, whether it's StarCraft 1 or 2, you are going to be like, oh, he might be coming right now.
My God!
He's just making sure there's not stuff there that'll wreck him.
Well, looks like the third base is going to be taken in a moment here. We have Ryung about to finish his. It's pretty obvious he should be expanding just a little bit south of his natural. Beyond just moving out here, trying to keep the map clean as much as possible of his opponent.
Ryung with a little bit of scouting going on, moving up forward with his siege tanks, but there's plenty of vision here for Bjorn. He's really kind of aware of what's going on and where everything's at, so I can't imagine Ryung really getting a good position on him. The one chance might be to like load up and go towards the main base, but I think already he's started his turret ring.
Okay, he's actually going to go around. This could get interesting. Byung, by the way, just about even with his opponent here in supply, so this will come down to Angeline sieging up, but this may cut the army here of Byung, or rather of Ryung, off from the reinforcements unless he starts using medivacs. Look at this, micros the tanks back. Happens to kill that Cyclone.
Random Cyclone.
Yeah, random Cyclone happens to die. Yeah. And it seems though Byung, or actually Ryung, is going to try to come down here and wipe out this position. The tanks here in the back can still be damaged by the tanks from Ryung.
Yeah, Ryung holding on just fine here for now, but Byun is gaining little edges here overall. Like, he gets siege up very quickly, picks off some of these siege tanks, picked off some of the extra Marines as well. And you can really see him kind of getting ahead, I feel like.
I can't imagine anybody harder to fight in TVT than Byun. He just always has good exchanges. Massive drop coming up here. And you can imagine Ryung is probably tempted to try to be in position to stop the push. This may catch him off guard as Ryung is going to be tempted to try to swallow up that remaining attack down there. He's going to come in here now. This may trigger the drop.
Yeah, I think it will, Tasis. With all those Marines there, he knows that there's not going to be enough to actually stop him with this drop going right towards the main base. In fact, some Vikings coming up trying to pick off these medevacs. They aren't going to be quick enough. It is going to unload.
Okay, and he's got a tank over here. Some Marines are going to try to come in to do some damage of their own.
It's getting a lot of these production facilities at the moment. Some tanks coming up to the high ground, trying to siege up. Ryung coming in with the rest of his Marines as well, trying to stem forward and taking these out.
Actually, I got to say, I think Ryung's doing a decent job holding that off. They could have done a lot more damage here. Byun, as the aggressor here, trying to go ahead and get this command center as quickly as he can. SCVs are pulled away immediately, but with Stim, he's going to be able to get this before it can actually get back home. And that, by far, is going to be the most impactful point here this game.
That's super important as well, because Byun does not have a third base during all this, Tasteless. So to kill his opponent's third after that drop is absolutely fantastic, and Byun maintains his lead, especially because of that.
Byun with a lot more muscle now on the map, shattering the economic ambitions here of Ryung. Ryung now on the top. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a riskier expand here with Byun actually just making the command center right there. I don't know, 142 supply at 118. You'd have to have some really good stims. Well, hold on a second. This is dropping the main. Don't do it. Do not do this.
That could have gone very poorly.
Try this at home, kids. This is cute. With the tanks over here, they can kind of cover the ramp.
Yeah.
But he can actually stim. Byun can stim over here and actually take those tanks out.
Byun has some pretty big forces that can flank this, so I'm a little bit nervous for him, but the siege tanks set up in position definitely can be helpful. The Marines starting to get pulled. Marines stimming from the top and the bottom.
And he can't really save these tanks, so this is going to drop the tank number tremendously because it's all Marines that are taking this out. That makes it almost impossible now for Ryung to have a third base.
Yeah, well, you know what? Byun doesn't even have enough SCVs to take a third base. So that's definitely something to take into consideration here as well. If Ryung can hold off any counterattacks, then maybe he can be okay. His economy, SCV count-wise, is better at least.
Yeah, that's true. Only 19 workers right now for Byun. The 44 here of Ryung. But that base is also about to mine out. The second base is going to mine out here for Ryung. He has to do something on the map. And with a larger army here for Ryung, he might be able to get a position set up where that's impossible.
Yeah, Byun stimming forward here. Ryung coming out for the engage, but with those tanks sieging up so much earlier in the huge arc of Marines,
that should be game. His control is just too good. The Marines should be able to take out the rest. Oh my God, even picks up one of those tanks. Nicely done.
Oh, really good on pickup right there. More siege tanks coming in as well. And that actually, I thought that was going to go a little bit better for Byun, to be honest. But Ryung with a very solid hold.
Well, he also lost that one tank to the Liberator. Now, bear in mind, the worker count's been evened out a lot. He killed a good amount of workers when they were being transferred there, so it's now 25 to 31, which is not bad. Not bad at all here for Byun.
Yeah.
But we need to get these workers mining over here for Ryung, and he has to start letting that kick in. Byun does possibly heavy option to try to come in here for a kill move. It depends on really the angle of defense versus the angle of offense.
And by the way, I didn't notice upgrade-wise, there's actually an additional plus attack for Ryung on both tanks and Marines. So that definitely kind of contributes to how these battles are going right now. With those extra, like, attack upgrades on Siege tanks are huge, obviously, because they get so much. And then on Marines, just because they shoot so fast. So, like, definitely helping out quite a bit.
Now, because they're both on low supply, he's going to try to drop in the main, get this army out of position. He has a small group of Marines. He might try to come in and once again kill all the workers. And he does not see this coming right now. You are right, Artosis. The upgrades are definitely better here for Ryung, and that's because he was actually trying to go for macro game.
Yeah.
Got those up. And then the command center was taken out, but he went ahead with the upgrades anyways. And here, once again, it's the same idea as what happened early on for him to get the third base. He's going to try it one more time.
Yeah,
However,
that third base is not going to be really defended well enough here, I think, Tasis. He's stimming in, trying to do something against this big drop that Byun brought in, but Byun going to pick up what he can.
Oh, my God, he's doing it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is so good. He needs to get the SCVs first. Exactly. GG. That was really smart. If that had not worked, Ryung would have been in a lead from there on out, especially after taking out all those tanks. But that's why Byun is the 2016 world champion.
Yeah.
And has no interest in being knocked out in the round of 32.
Yeah, he opens up aggressively, does get a little bit behind on upgrades and stuff, but the snipes on that third CC or that third base area in general, twice, definitely winning him that game.
Really nicely done. Although I want to point out, Ryung is holding his own against the very best of the best. Like in that interview at the start of the show when he said he had practiced really hard and he feels like he's in great form.
Yeah.
Team or no team, he had never stopped him from giving his best. You can see it. I mean, Byun, that was close, man. Had Byun not pulled off that one maneuver at the very end, Ryung could have won that game.
Absolutely the case. So very well done by Byun, but can Ryung hold on and bring it back from here? Echo will be our next map. I think he'll do a little bit better here. I think when you get a map that big, the type of skill set that Byun brings to the table where he's multitasking everywhere at once, hitting every angle possible, gets really, really strong.
Yeah, I think Byun has the alertness and the stamina to handle fights on a map that big. Where it's, the whole map in a TVT like that is a dark, scary place.
Yeah.
They pull one fast one on you, you're out of position. Let's see if it's different here on Echo, as we now go into Byun versus Ryung in game number 2 of the GSL. The winner goes on to the round of 16. In the bottom right, in the blue,
Team Expert, Byun.
in the upper left, in the red,
TES Gaming, Ryung.
You know one thing about Ryung, he's just always been solid. He's a champion.
I don't get it.
Oh, you don't get it? Well, we should call this is not the Ryung versus Byun game. We should call this the Bryung game.
Bryung?
Yeah.
Is that their Archon name?
If you put them together, that's the kind of cheese they make.
Bryungolina? Get it? It's like Brangelina, but it's like
Oh, that's good.
Bryungolina?
Bryungolina.
It's like, who's Olina there? I'm like, I don't know.
The girl is.
Yeah.
Note that Ryung actually scouted for any shenanigans on the map. Right away, the SCV arced around to the lower left and is now making a beeline over here to Byun's base. Byun is actually going for one base aggro.
Would you say that the arc of this SCV bends towards truth?
No, but I would say the arc of the universe bends towards justice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, he's trying to scout, right? But I guess, yeah, I figure that's the truth he's looking for is what you're going for over here, Byun. But I guess not. Okay,
Well,
Tesis.
here's what's funny. That SCV still hasn't scouted. And, you know, we have the factory coming up here at the starport.
Well, he's hiding.
He's hiding it to try to check in later on.
Yeah, this is like a super sneak move right here. Huh. Okay. Reaper coming out. Doesn't check his own natural. What a fool. Actually goes back, checks the action. I'm like, what?
Okay, the command center's going to start. This Reaper can get an assassinate on the SCV. No, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. I like suddenly decided that's a Reaper. I'm like, yeah, he scouted with a Reaper before his barracks was out. What's going on here, guys? Sorry. After a couple hours of doing this, suddenly my brain just stops working.
Sounds like Wings of Liberty beta. Okay, he's doing that same type of attack again, but, you know, the fact that a Cyclone's on the way means that I don't think it'll do that much damage. Perhaps a little bit shorter, so maybe he has a little bit more time. And he is harassing that SCV that's on the natural, so this is kind of an interesting move from him.
So this is something Bjorn really feels like is a necessary play here. To come in like this and to not try to necessarily rush to the Cyclone. It's funny, though, because it gets here right when the Cyclone gets out.
Yeah.
Like both games.
Like, maybe he's looking for anyone who's not going Cyclone there, because so far he's found just, like, really not much damage. He got away a little bit cleaner this time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I like the early Cyclone play from Ryung. It's just so safe. I guess it gives him a little bit of a scout, though. Like, it goes up, it makes sure, okay, you went for Cyclone. Okay, this is what you have. I killed a Marine, whatever.
It could be one of these builds where if you don't respect the possibility of the rush, you lose a lot more.
Yeah.
And he's probably comfortable taking on the Cyclone.
Yeah, if you don't have the Cyclone, I mean,
yeah,
you're in
there's
trouble
not much
there.
you can do. So
it's actually going to get some damage done.
So that's pretty smart. But yeah, Bjorn definitely, when you're at the top of your game, when you're at the top of the world, you might end up with your own builds. We don't know if they're the best, but they're definitely, if you're the best, you're going to make them work.
Yeah,
no matter
they work
what.
for you. Like,
we've always seen this with people that we put like in the top 3. Or Dark's another example where he does stuff a little bit differently.
Absolutely.
Nobody's really playing like Dark until Dark plays a game and people start copying it.
Yeah.
Hold up. With these Cyclones coming up here, this is going to be not easy for Bjorn to combat. He's actually running back now. Ryung, the second time he's encountered this, is going to see if he can't put some pressure on.
Siege Tank is about to pop out for Bjorn, so I think he will end up being fine. Ooh. All right, he has his tank, or tanks, and should be all right here holding on. Looks like a drop attempt coming in, double Cyclone.
Oop. He might have even wanted to have the Viking further back so that he drops it anyways. And then you can just take
Possibly
out the Cyclones.
get the kill.
Yeah. That's one of the harder things in StarCraft is to know when to do that.
Versus when to just force it out.
Just to bounce them out of your base.
Very true. Sometimes you do want to
You actually want them to get the drop and then just kill it.
You were cast with me a little bit ago, right, on Vani, where it's like the mind game of when to bait versus when not to bait.
Yeah, I think it was with Stalkers.
Like really, yeah. I don't remember exactly what happened there, but I remember it was like one of these situations where it was like, wow, that was like a lot of mind games on top of each other and a lot of like meta back
or
and
there's
forth.
one, they leave one Stalker at the edge with the rest back to Blinken, so you only see one Stalker, you assume they're not actually ready.
This was funny.
Yeah, this was...
That Reaper next to the Siege Tank, he's just sitting there because he's like, well, I actually can't go anywhere. I have to just sit next to the Siege Tank or I die.
Yeah.
What a scary thing.
Let's see if we can't make him repair the Siege Tank. So, Ryung this time around seems to be at least a little bit more acquainted with the style of play that Byung's come out here with. Tested the waters a little bit, trying to push out. Byung does have the reactions and concepts necessary to hold that off. Cyclones do try to drop in or anything like that. So for the time being, they're both just powering up. This sometimes happens at TVT where nobody can really hurt each other. There's nothing that should really compel you to try any more harass because you might be a little bit weakened up. Well, leaving these Cyclones out was a big mistake here.
Ooh, he does lose that one. Ryung is actually going a pretty aggressive style of play here. He's getting like 5 racks or so right off of that 2 base. So very much in producing units. Did Bjorn get that many as well? I can't actually see. He hasn't started command center, so yeah, I guess he must actually have a ton of racks.
Well, if you think about the last game where Ryung tried to do standard, but Byung was just too good. Ryung tried to go into late game, get to that 3rd base, but Byung had more, and tactically he was just better. Look at this. This is funny.
Very
takes
nice
that out.
snipe, yeah.
That's cool.
As long as he doesn't lose that
No.
tank, that's cool.
No. Oh, no.
Well, that's
one of the worst things you can do is lose a tank for no reason at all.
Yeah, like he
especially in 2 base versus 2 base, where it's a lot of large Marine clumps crashing into each other. Oh, but that's also bad.
All right, it's all even.
Yeah.
But yeah, both these guys going for this very aggressive style. This actually kind of reminds me of how Maru was playing this map in his group. You know, he had a very strong TVT here, just kind of abusing the positions with a heavy 2-base unit play. Unit play? What the hell?
Good escape
Like,
here.
is that what I called it?
Good escape here by Ryun. Byun continuing to press forward here. Now, he has the positional play. I don't know if Byun's going to actually try to press this. It looks like he is. I'm a little bit surprised by this. He's going to try to push into the main. I think Ryung is basically prepared for this, and we now have tanks taking some damage over here. Of course, there's no way that you can really get any position here for Ryung until you bust out of this.
Yeah,
but
he can't
that was a
really-
little bit ambitious to try to just push in.
Yeah, like straight up push in from low ground right there.
Two base
against
on
the
two
same
base?
build.
Yeah.
It's never, ever going to work. Ryung pushing this back even more with the Vikings. Ooh, might lose one right there. Byun very much on top of eking out every piece of damage he possibly can.
He's going to come in here and try to get these tanks. Going to medevac come pick this up. He's staying back right now, but more Marines and tanks are coming in.
Byun does get his tank siege up on the high ground, so we'll be able to force these Marines back right now. I feel like he is being just slightly too aggressive, though.
Yeah, this doesn't seem necessary, especially considering he's taking a third. I would understand if he stayed out there, but the fact that he was in range of tanks from the high ground while he's in the low ground,
Yeah.
he tried to actually push into the main. I mean, you can't bring this game in two opposite directions at the same time. Because if Ryung plays his hand correctly, he just counter pushes and kills you because you've shaved off too many of your own units and you invested in another base while your opponent was just powering up.
It's very true. As long as Ryung is very decisive with whatever he's doing, whether that's expanding and he's defending, or whether he's going to attack, if he's shaved off the extra units, that gives him the edge in the attack. And in fact, even has a Liberator to help push forward a little bit, has a good couple of Vikings in here, whereas Byun has none, so that will give him a big vision advantage. Oh, no, never mind, he has 3. I am stupid.
Ryung is pushing down here from the top and to the right. Now the rocks have now blocked this area off, so Ryung's going to be, or Byun rather, is going to be in a position to try to hold this off here. But this push is pretty intense right now from Ryung. He is trying to poke in here with these Vikings to take out this Liberator. It looks like he does do that before a single shot is fired. Nicely handled there by Byun. Now, at the same time this is happening, he wants to defend. He wants to look for any kind of weakness, maybe some transitional movement here from Ryung, where he could possibly stim these Marines, come in and shoot down those tanks before they can escape.
Yeah, well, with this spread of tanks, I don't think he can really do anything with the Marines setting up behind. The Viking counts are so important, though. Byun having that one additional Viking allowed him to kill the Liberator and keep vision this entire time. We're seeing Ryung use scan after scan after scan here, trying to figure out if he can get anything done, but he just can't.
Now, remember, this game looks similar to game number 1, except it was Byun doing it to Ryung. Let's see if Ryung picks up and tries to drop into the main or something like that to get him out of position. A little bit trickier on a map like this, though.
Oh, that was a sick snipe right there. Really getting his Viking count even higher
Okay,
now.
he's coming in.
Oh, this is into a siege position. A huge spread here by Ryung, who has many more Marines. Will he be able to actually break through, though? A good spread of siege tanks here for Byun.
Oh, he did a really good job keeping that third tank alive. If you notice, Byun knows right when to pull away to let the Marines run a little bit further so 1 or 2 more tank volleys can get off. It's going to be very important that he can get those clumps of tanks back there, because with this many tanks, he can start to leapfrog them. And there's not much that Byun can do but try to respect it. But if Ryung doesn't win this pretty quickly, then he just loses the game in the long run because Byun's mining from 3 bases.
Well,
we see the tank lines falling back. Uh-oh. This drop. Oh, never mind. There's Marines there to cover that.
Yeah, just barely so. 3 tanks leapfrogging forward here once again. He's cutting off circulation. This is going to allow him to actually hit up into the 3rd relatively soon here. The siege tank advantage and positional advantage for Ryung really big. Stemming into this right-hand side. He's got to get something done, and he knows it.
Looks like he's detected some vulnerability over here. This will leave the 3rd base exposed. I think Ryung actually might have just won this game.
Yeah, it is looking like he just barely didn't snipe that siege tank on the high ground, which is too bad for him. But dealing all the damage there in that 3rd base, Byun losing basically every SCV up there.
He does take out that Liberator, but the tank still remains here. The Marine count's been thinned out right now for Ryung. He does have reinforcements streaming down here. Byun trying to micro this tank just out of range over here. Oh, I think it's still being hit from there.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I think one more. No, okay, it's actually out of range now. It looks like it was...
What? Oh, okay.
I guess the shot was fired, it had moved and stopped, but the...
Yeah. You're right.
It's like targeted. The tank can't just like fire.
It's like the smallest tiny bit out of range right there.
Another drop. Is the second going to be taken out here? It looks like Ryung's going for it. Is this an overextension? Byun coming forward now.
Oh my God.
There's not many Marines here to help defend. At the same time, the command center is getting lower and lower and lower.
Those siege tanks on the low ground just plastering absolutely everything here. Byun in a lot of trouble.
I think this game might be done with.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any more bases. Now, Ryung actually moved the command center from his main
Yeah.
into the expansion, so he powered just hard enough to dry up his main and then hopped that over to the third while punishing Byun.
Well, this
Dude,
is
Byun might lose the series. This was a really impressive showing here from Ryung.
It is, but Byun is doing the one thing that might bring him back in this game. Double medevac drop coming out, going towards that third base. He has to know that that's there by now, but Ryung realizing that, like, well, you're just sitting there not mining. You must be getting ready to attack me.
Yep, Ryung with every textbook answer to the plays that are coming here. Now, there's no medevacs over at the top here, but I think with the Marines and the remaining reinforcements that come in here on the side, that should be the nail in Byun's coffin.
Yeah, he's got nothing left at this point. He's not even really mining. He's going to try to break this one more time, it looks like. Even SCV's coming to the battle. Not enough. GG.
GG. Nicely done.
Oh.
Impressive stuff. Really impressive stuff coming there from Ryung.
Very well done. But I think it comes down to what you were talking about before, Tasteless, where he was expanding and attacking, and he was attacking from low ground into high ground against a person, a player in Ryung who was just sitting on two bases, macroing up, getting ready to get aggressive himself. So, you know, between that and Ryung's very solid push, despite the fact that he had less Vikings to actually spot, working out for him. I think he did it like just right. That was a beautifully executed push, leapfrogging forward to cut off the third from the natural.
Can we point out the pressure that Byun must be feeling right now?
Yeah.
It would be huge if he's knocked out here by Ryung. If he's taken out after dominating in 2016 harder than pretty much anybody's ever dominated in a tight period of time, Ryung could end his dreams. Byun has to fight to prove he's even worthy for the round of 16. He's here in the losers match. Obviously, no disrespect losing his stats, but he might not be able to make it. Ryung is solid. Ryung nearly beat stats. Ryung might beat Byun here tonight.
Byun does not look happy, Tasteless. This is going to be a hard one for him. Game number 3 between Byun and Ryung.
I like how you timed that out with it. I like how you timed that out with your portrait show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
In the upper right, in the blue, the last Codes champion.
Team expert, Byun.
That's ominous, Tasteless. You think this Codes won't finish?
Huh?
It's like the last airbender. No. He looks rattled. He looks sad.
In the bottom left, in the red.
TES Gaming, Ryung.
I'm actually kind of shifting towards thinking Ryung might win this. He does not look like Ryung looks like he's just like trying to play the best StarCraft he can, whereas like Byun was like rapidly blinking after the last game. His eyes looked a little bit red. Like I think he's upset about that loss. He definitely made some mistakes there.
He might be
feeling
concerned.
that pressure.
Might be concerned with his legacy right now.
Yeah.
It's very important that he gets deep in this Codes. If he
His
wins
legacy
it, that's
might
incredible.
go right into the void, Tasteless.
Wow,
If that's
that
the
was
last
good.
tournament he ever wins, right?
Yeah. He might have had his, his moment, but everybody's still training hard. Everybody's getting better and better and better. So let's see. Let's see what happens. We have Ryung now. Once again with an SCV scout right away. Doesn't look like he checked for proxies, though, here. He's just going straight up.
Yeah, both of them going factory play. Looks like Ryung getting his second gas as well, a little bit later.
Okay, bounces that SCV out.
Okay. He sees that there's a factory, though. He definitely saw that, so that's important.
Now, the fact that this SCV is going to the right here,
Oh,
is he going to do anything sneaky?
yeah, that's a good question. You know,
He
what, I
might
think,
just hide it there to
Yeah.
check for later, but I don't know.
think you're right. I think that's
Just
what
wondering
it
because
is.
the factory was getting close to getting done.
Like,
Oh, he knows, too.
oh my God.
No one. Oh, never mind. It's the first time we haven't finished that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
like, oh,
my.
no one's here. He's like, I shouldn't talk to myself out loud. That's weird. Reaper goes back home. It's really cool if I'm going to kill you and I'm saying something creepy like that. Like, no one leaves here alive.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, hello? Oh, no one? Oh, okay, I'm a crazy person. I'll stop talking right now.
I'm still talking.
I'm still talking out loud, aren't I? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Okay, this is definitely a very different build. In the previous games, Ryung just went Reaper expand and then into a Cyclone, but here he's getting a Widowmine, getting some Marines. It's obviously a drop coming into play.
This is the Beyond build now.
If he gets caught going up this ramp with a Widowmine hit...
I don't think you can do this every
Oh,
game,
boy.
man. Oh, look at that.
Oh, you know what? He poked and didn't see a command center.
Oh, so that's how this
Yeah.
build works. We're kind
Yeah.
of uncovering this opener that Beyond has been doing that he clearly seems to think is the best build in TVT, at least for him.
Yeah, it's
because he's done it every game in the last 3. So if he doesn't see a CC, he just backs up, which I guess would make sense. If you're one basing for one base, why would you be like, aha, and run into the wall in while it's closed?
A Hellion and 2 Reapers is not going to beat whatever the hell your opponent's making on one base up a ramp.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just not going to happen. Unless it's only slow Zerglings. That's not much of a strategy.
And then you could have just done a TVZ opener instead.
Yeah.
So
Could have done anything you wanted, really.
like,
Some guys
you do his
make
ramp, you're like,
so,
oh, he's a Warcraft 2 orc. This is easy. You just kill all his peons.
Oh my god. Well, they have a lot of health in that game.
Yeah,
that would
they
take
do,
a bit,
actually,
but
yeah.
with Beyond's micro, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got to be going for troll axe throwers if you're going to win with that strat, guys. Yeah, right? Some of you guys played a lot of RGS. So we have Ryung coming in now. Now, he denied the SCV over here. Beyond down there at the second. But up here, a Widowmine burrowing. Byung might be in some trouble.
How much damage can he actually get done here? That Widowmine, he's definitely ready to micro as much as he needs. Oh. Okay, that was good dealing with it by Beyond, I would say. Lost some Marine, whatever. It's fine. Cloak and Banshee on the way. Beyond does have that expansion up a little bit quicker, though.
Ryung liking those Cyclones early on. Definitely tough to take out anybody that goes for 2 Cyclones like that at the start. They're very good at picking fights in this early game, especially TVT. But Ryung's follow-up with the Banshee is interesting. We've seen that Byung likes to be the aggressor basically every game. Maybe the Banshee would actually throw him off?
Yeah, you
know?
could be right about this. Like, Ryung has completely switched up what he did in the other 2 games, which was the more economic opening. But Cloaked Banshees, like, they very oftentimes and quite easily pay for themselves. So, like, for instance, you fly up there, there's no scan, you're in a lot of trouble. 2 Vikings kind of waiting for anything that will come up.
The Vikings make me a little bit more nervous.
Yeah. Well, they should. They hit air.
Yeah.
And, that
And here's the
Banshee-
thing, Artosis. Banshees fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an issue. They don't
Yeah.
land like Vikings
Looks
do.
like we connected the dots in this cast. Well, let's see if he actually decides to park the Banshees until Terran leaves. Because a lot of times you want the Vikings to kind of push with you. If you do push.
Well, Cloak just finished, so even if the Viking is there, he can still get in. There is at least 1 Cloak available, almost 2.
Oh.
He might not have even seen that, too.
I don't think he's chasing it. I think he just didn't have his screen.
He dropped
over
his
there.
mules! He dropped his mules!
Oh my God!
Oh
He's
my
taking
God.
out STVs.
This is craziness. Ryung putting some real damage on right now.
He's gathered up. I don't think he has no scan, as Artosis was
Did
saying.
he just run?
What?
Where's the Banshee? Oh, there it is. Okay.
No. But
Yeah, no, never
okay,
mind.
he actually does manage to come over here.
I'm a crazy
Look at this.
person. I'm talking to myself. Oh my God. Okay, takes that one down.
Still though, you have 5 SCVs interrupted mining.
Yeah, solid.
Ryung
Forcing
moving out.
these turrets now as well.
Now he might even try to come up here and maybe get this tank or something. Oh no!
Ooh, a little bit slow
Whoa!
moving
He's
there.
actually just going to go for it.
Yeah, he's just suiciding
We don't quite
on
have
the
enough
tank.
Marines over here.
Oh my God.
However, that tank there in the back got that extra volley off. We still have some Marines here, but we don't see any medevacs to heal this. We don't see any way that tanks can get out. I think Ryung may have overextended here.
Well, he gets 15 SCVs for his effort,
Which is pretty
puts
big.
him, yeah, economically way ahead. He has the same number of siege tanks, and the Marines are not powerful yet, right? Like, Stim not quite yet done for Byun.
Yeah, it's a bit of a flimsy army here for Byun
Huh.
if he tries to move out.
Yeah. Like, he is going to have to get out on the map pretty soon here, but Ryung has to kind of go into a turtling mode, I think. You know, he's spent a lot of money on things like Cloak Banshees and this attack that we just saw. He just started Stim.
Yeah.
So this is like the moment where Byun, with his Stim finishing up very soon, can actually get some counter damage done.
Yeah, well, Stim versus no Stim, we know who wins that.
Who?
Stim. Stim wins, guys.
Oh, jeez.
Somebody write that
But wait
down.
a minute. It does damage to you to Stim, silly boy.
It's not even worth getting, man. It's an upgrade that makes your units worse in the game. Yeah.
Makes them run faster. What are you running from, coward?
Oh, he's dropping. Okay. Let's see if he's stimming. Oh, you know what? He was never running from it. Oh, no, he was running from it. Well, he might try to rotate around again here. A lot of pressure on Bjorn right now. He's trying to play SCV catch-up. And the thing is, it's 2 base versus 2 base, so it's pretty hard to actually poke any holes in another player because you're basically making it around the same rate, and it's less to defend.
But there are a few different places you have to defend as well, because don't forget on Overgrowth, if you go around the back of the natural, like in the third base area, you can siege there and make it annoying. So that could be an area.
He's going to do a massive drop.
Is he now?
Here it is.
Into a missile turret.
He's unloading right now. Now, there are tanks actually set up.
Oh.
What? No!
I can't even.
That is.
Oh, I can't even believe that this just happened. He just lost 20 supply. This was the most indecisive thing I've ever seen Bjorn do.
I don't even know what happened there.
The worst move that Bjorn has done that I
feel
can
like
remember.
We watched somebody take a skateboard and be like, watch this, and then go down a half pipe, and then we found out he's never skateboarded before.
And then he went right back up the half pipe and lost 2 medevacs to a turret.
Yes.
They had siege tanks in him, too.
I don't even know. He actually just circled around.
Dude, it was like...
It's like he thought that turret was like a merry-go-round or something.
Oh, my God.
I don't even know. I mean...
Well, here's the funny thing. After losing all that, their army supply is somewhat similar. Like, Ryung has a slight lead in all ways, but that, like... Wow.
Dude,
that was such a mistake. If he loses,
that's a bad way to go, man.
Yeah. That's like... Oh, man.
Every time you go through one of those revolving glass doors, you're going to have a flashback to this moment.
No! I know what this feeling is. Like, if you make a move like that and that's what kicks you out of the tournament.
And then everybody comes up to you like, why did you do that? You're like, oh, my God, I was
just
multitasking. Don't talk to me.
I'm bad, that's why.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man.
Ryung is in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, he has control. He's taking his third base at the moment. Starting to close in a little bit here onto Bjorn.
Right.
Bjorn has to do something. These siege tanks are getting to a tough spot.
Bjorn has to come forward, force a siege, and then back up. Back up. Okay.
Yeah. This is exactly it, because he's working towards this position in the back where you can actually shell the natural. If he gets into there, it's like, well, I have more siege tanks.
This map is unique in that sense, because if you do get the tanks up there, it's really tough to recover from. So he has the Vikings here to make sure that the medevacs can't spot. He wants Ryung to be spending what would have been minerals, or what would have been mules, rather, onto scans.
Munerals.
Munerals, yes.
As they call it.
As Shakespeare has said before. He's scanning, okay, but we might have a sandwich play here. He's going to try to hit from 2 different sides.
Big move coming up here from Ryung, coming in and sieging up on the left, but those siege tanks not actually doing very much at the moment. All he does is force Bjorn back. Bjorn still has a reasonable army.
The siege tank count here for Ryung might be actually the point of no return here.
Yeah,
he can actually take blows on his own tanks and basically still gain ground. You see Bjorn coming down now. He's trying to get these good engages over here. This is actually not bad.
Yeah, he's finding some damage in some places. You can see he's actually getting a little bit frustrated. He's getting sieged up at his natural sum. The Vikings pushing him back as well.
We saw Bjorn scan what he was hoping was a third. It's not there, so he doesn't know if this is 2 base or 3 base. In fact, Riyadh is taking the third in the closer push point location.
This might give him hope on some certain moves, but he's actually playing him against a much bigger economy than he realizes.
One Marine drop there. That's pretty smart. You want to try to get the splash damage to connect with that. I mean, this is bad, man. He's not even mining from one of those gases because it's in tank range, which means he's got less tanks to combat the growing number of siege tanks. Bjorn is moving up. He might be taking down the world champion. Bjorn pulls his SCVs, and it's not enough. GG!
Sick upset. Sick victory here from Ryung. Getting out in second place in this group. You can see he's almost overwhelmed. That was a hard series. This was a hard night for Ryung.
And you know what? At the start, Ryung said in the interview that all he had to do was practice what he knew he had to do. I can't talk kurtosis. What am I trying to say? He had to do what he did in practice and make it work in the actual match, and he did it.
And you know what? Bjorn is super kicking himself right now, Tasos. The Echo game, the attack was sloppy. It was uncalled for. This game, that merry-go-round on the turret, 2 siege tanks, 2 medevacs, and 8 Marines lost. That's too much to lose to a blunder like that. Byun is crushed, man. This is
Wow.
this is his worst nightmare come to reality.
This is what happens sometimes. You're on top of the world. Look, it's you and me, Artosis.
Hey, there we are.
Sometimes you're on top of the world. Now you guys know what kind of fancy wear we're casting.
Oh God, look at this, man. Like Ryung is like
This is
basically
huge.
crying right now.
This is such an
This is
emotional
such
moment.
a like. This was he was not really supposed to get out of this group. Stats and Byun are both top 3 in their race, respectively. Okay,
Yeah.
they are absolutely the top of the world. They are 2 players that you would expect to possibly win this season. And Ryung, he did it. He got out of the group.
You know, when you're on top, there's so much pressure, and I think this was a major shift here for Byun in his mindset. Right, he was used to. Well, I mean, he was used to being kind of a player in the background. He just does his best. Maybe he'll get far. Then he wins without being on a team, GSL Codes, and he wins the World Championship. And maybe the pressure actually mounts then, right?
Yeah.
Even because it's after the fact. Now,
Well,
it's
no one expected it before. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
even
here
after
he is.
Code S, at BlizzCon, it's like, well, he could win, but I mean, these
Yeah.
are the best players in the whole world again.
And here's the thing: there's going to be a bunch of people that think they're smarter than on the internet. Why'd you fly into that turret? He's like, I didn't mean to.
Yuri says Ryun was able to advance second place.
네, 감사합니다.
Finally defeating Byun. Congratulations.
챔피언을 이겨버리시네요. 저 소감부터 들어볼게요.
You beat the defending champion. How do you feel?
유리하다 생각했는데 지고 나서 그냥 연습했던 플레이가
In the first set, I had the advantage, but then I screwed up and lost that.
네.
그게 오히려 잘
And
먹혀진
then-
것 같고
네.
In the second set,
진짜 이길 줄
I
몰랐거든요.
tried to improve my strats and build off what I did in game one. I didn't actually expect to win. I thought Byun had more units
그래도 운이 좋았던
than he
것
had.
같습니다.
저는
On the third set, I almost felt like I had to pray and hope he didn't have as many units as me. I feel fortunate and I'm lucky I
여운이
won.
크셨는지 못 일어나셨거든요. 많이 이기고 싶은 상대였죠.
네, 정말 사실 너무 친하지만 그만큼 저의 앞뒤를
I'm
좀 많이
also
막았고
very good friend with Byun. I usually lose more to him.
부럽기도 했어요. 너무 잘하니까.
He's eliminated me
제가
from a lot of
할수 없는
different
플레이를
tournaments.
하니까. 근데 그런
I envied him.
선수를 이겨서 기쁘고
네.
작년
Because we were
팔강에
playing the
졌던
same
게
race, but he was just
아직도
doing so much
생각하면
better than me last year.
VOD를 아직도 못 봤는데
I can't forget the round of 8 loss to Byun.
복수한 것 같아서 그나마 다행인 것 같습니다.
I watched that VOD over and over so many
김동원
times.
선수 정말 대단합니다.
And that's why I was so happy after beating him.
동족전은 믿고 보는 꿀잼 경기인 것 같아요. 오늘 변현우 선수와의 3세트도 정말 멋졌어요. 계속해서 처음에 본진 드랍부터 그 다음에 엇박자와 은폐 벤시 이후
Let's talk
계속해서
about the third set.
가져가시더니 결국 변현우
The drops and the Banshee play.
시게 만드시더라고요.
근데 저도
You were able to get a lot of those SCVs early
적도
on.
없고 그냥 한 번도 안 해본 플레이였는데
네.
그냥 이렇게 해면 괜찮겠다.
That was a build I've never used before.
그거에 좀
I
상대가 꼬였던 것
improvised
같아요.
that.
제 생각에는 제 마음대로 안 됐고
I thought it might work out if I take the game in that direction.
선수가 4, 5선 드랍을 무리해서 오는 걸 보고
네.
많이 불리하다고 생각한다고 생각을 했어요.
네,
His 4 medevac drop didn't quite work
변현우
out.
선수가 이렇게 갈팡질팡하는
And that's when I knew I had the advantage.
본 게 참 오랜만이었는데 그 전에도 이야기를 해보겠습니다. 그 이전에 패자전으로 가셔서는 굉장히 수비적으로
So let's go to the
안정적으로
losers
하시는
match.
모습이었고
He played a very
이전에는
defensive game and a very
어떠셨어요?
safe
오늘
match.
전체적으로 풀세트 하시느라고 힘드셨죠?
네, 일단은 김대엽 선수랑 1경기에서는
All the matches you played were 2-1. It was a very long day
워낙
for you.
잘해왔기 때문에
네.
이길 수도 있겠다는 생각을 했는데
네.
대엽이도 잘하기도
The
하고
first set against DRG Ling was a very
세기도 하고
calculated build. I had a lot of confidence.
네, 토스가
It always worked out for me.
세더라고. 이거는 말하면 여기서 말할 게 아니라 어디 술자리 가서 말해야지.
The match against Stats,
역시 뭔가 이렇게 노련하시고 현명하신 모습입니다. 이렇게
it just tells me the Protoss are pretty strong.
최종전을 통해서
It's tough for Terrence to beat him.
16강에
I thought I played a good match, but
자 이제
it's just
조진영
Protoss.
씨에 갖게 됐는데 보니까 조진영 씨
impossible.
Yeah, that's what he
MVP셨어요.
said.
Cool.
네.
I'm glad we're back to that already after Stats winning 2.
그때 진영 선수가 최고로 잘했었는데 그 선수가 민영수 선수를 놔두고 저를 뽑았잖아요. 그래서 다들 불쌍했는지 그냥 준 것 같더라고요.
아
네.
그래요. 자 이번
So now I'm
조진영
back to the
씨
group
바라는 게
selection.
있으세요? 피하고 싶거나 아니면 꼭 하고 싶을 정도 있거나 뭐 어떤
Last
의견이
season I was in a really difficult group.
솔직히 이번에
I hope I get into an easier group this time around.
센조라고 생각했고 저도 그리고 대엽이랑 현우가 정말 세다고 생각했는데 두 사람을 둘 다 만나서
Today was the group of death.
뭐 가릴 건 없을 것 같고요.
Thought Stats
그냥 앞에
and
누가
Byun
오던지
were the
간에
most likely to move on.
만큼 제가 한 것보다
But
더
I'm so glad I was able to get through this group. My
여기서 그게 다
confidence levels are
나온다면
up.
누구든지 이길 수 있을 것 같습니다.
네. 자, 변현우 선수도 꺾었는데
I think at this point in
이제
time I can
계속해서
beat anybody as long as I
더
prepare.
크게 당연히 생각을 하고 계실 것 같아요.
I love how much he's
앞으로
looking
포부를
around while
빼고
talking.
있게
No.
들려주시죠.
네, 일단은 제가
Any final
게이머로서
comments?
맏형이기도 하고 나이가 많기도 하지만 제가 처음에 학교를 그만두고 올라오면서부터 우승을 꿈꾸고 있었는데
네.
아직도 우승을 못해서 계속 하고 있어요.
네.
이번에
After
좀
quitting
우승을
school,
하고 싶고
I'm just focusing on my
남들
games.
다 하는
My
우승도
goal
한번
is to become the
해보고 싶기도
champion.
하고.
네.
네, 그리고 제가
I've been a pro gamer for a long time, but I didn't achieve the goals I had set for myself, which was to become a GSL Kodes champion. I think I've got a good chance this season, though.
제가 여기서 올라감으로 인해서 그 선수들이
I'm
잘할 수
living
있다는
with two very
자신감을
good
좀 심어주고
players.
있었어요.
They've helped me a
저보다 훨씬
lot.
더 잘하는 선수들인데
One
연습실에서
of them's
연습만 하고
patience.
있는 게 제가
And I actually didn't hear the other one, sorry.
네.
그래서 저도 이만큼 했으니까
Thank you guys for helping me.
더 잘할 수 있다는 생각
I feel sorry for them because they're not
네.
in as many tournaments right now.
승리로
I
많은
hope they do
분들이
well in the
응원하실 것
qualifiers
같아요.
down the road.
자, 앞으로도 계속해서 기대를 해보겠습니다. 설 어떻게 보내세요?
IEM 예선하면서
Any plans for the holiday?
역시 오늘 선수들은 전부
Practicing
다
for the IEM
경기
qualifiers.
준비에 내신하겠다 밝혀주셨는데요. 김동호 선수 복 많이
Nobody at
받으시고요.
GSL is doing anything interesting in our toes as we are all vegging out this Lunar New Year.
자, 이렇게 김동원 선수
Not much else to do.
만나봤습니다. 이렇게 지조
Minus 10 degree weather and everything's closed. So
Yeah.
stay home and play video games. That's about it.
Well, this was a really interesting day. Byun was knocked out
Yeah.
of the
Defending
round
champ.
of 32.
It's kind of crazy.
And here's the thing, Rihanna actually played a lot better than Byun.
He did play
There
better.
wasn't
He did.
one game where it's like, oh, why would you cheese there? Or I can't believe you didn't see that coming. I mean,
The pressure got to Byun.
yeah, it really did. And he
For
said that
sure.
before in his interview.
Yeah, and well, at least he's cognizant that it's getting to him. Hopefully, he can do something to fix that for the next season. Because I mean, this is kind of a disappointing thing I think for everyone watching. Byun, you expect him to minimum hit the round of 8. You know, he's one of these players where, it better be like a best of 5 against Darker Innovation, right? That takes him out. But here he is, and he loses to both Stats and Ryung. They were close matches still, but definitely some mistakes coming out of Byun tonight.
Well, good luck to Byun in the future. I think that he's still got a long road ahead of him of tournaments and great results. But
Well, he said his
This is
career
not-
doesn't end until StarCraft 2 does.
that's right.
So I guess he retired 5 years ago.
Oh my gosh, Artosis. Look, guys, I think Byun will be back for sure. But this has happened to so many different players. They win a tournament or win a GSL, and then they get knocked out in the round of 32 because they've been under a magnifying glass from every other player.
And just like ants, they burn up under that sometimes.
That's right. So we'll wish him the best of luck in the future. Of course, Stats and Ryung playing as well as they did. They are the players worthy of moving on. One more reminder, we have another GSL Kodes, not 24 hours, but a little bit less than that, maybe 20 hours from now. It's at 6:30 p.m. KST. That's Group F with Scarlet.
It is such a big deal, guys, that Scarlett actually got into this tournament. She qualified all by herself. It's wild. We've never had a foreigner do it like this. And that group is hard, too. Classic is in absolute top form at the moment, and Alive is as well. This guy has been killing everybody in the online cups lately. Young Chick, on the other hand, as far as we know, he plays Overwatch.
Yeah.
So
Let's see what happens,
your
man.
guess is as good as mine. I'm sure he'll make a lot of adepts and, probably take one game off Scarlet and then she'll kill him. But that's going to be a great group. I really hope that you guys can spread the word
Please.
and check that out.
This is going to be a really special day tomorrow.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. So we'll see you guys at 6:30 tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We love you. And also, we hope you have a good Lunar New Year. That does it.
We'll see
have
you
a good
tomorrow.
morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.
That would send me underneath the ground. Don't say those words. I wanna live, but your words can murder. Only you can send me